So today we will talk about subject lines and how to write better subject lines according to data. My name is William. I'm an SDR leader here at Reply. I've been at Reply like for more than 5 years. Actually, I joined in August 1st, a few days ago. It's 5 years here at Reply. So yeah, so I'm leading the SDR team. And here's what we will cover today. We will talk about actually why it matters, why subject lines matter. We will talk about data-backed insights. We will have some fun. I don't know. Let's see. We will talk about subject line formulas, examples, Q&A, and a few thank you words for everyone. So first of all, why it matters. I do believe that subject lines is quite important part of any sales development process, because this is the very first thing you think your prospects will see when you send your emails, right? So your subject line is like a storefront of your store. I don't know, it's like a first impression when you meet someone. So that's so important, in my opinion. To prove this, I have collected a few stats for you to decode this importance. First of all, 99% of all email users check their inbox every day. Some of them, approximately 20-25%, check their inboxes more than 5 times a day, which is important, right? 33% of all email recipients open an email based just on the subject line only. So they basically decide whether or not to open an email based on the subject line. So that's why it's so important. 45% of subscribers say they are likely to read the email because of who it's from. And mobile devices show up to 30 characters from an email subject line, first 30 characters. Email is the first thing 58% of people check in the morning, not their social media, not their like chats, Slack, updates, and so on, but they check emails. And majority of emails views come from mobile devices. Some sources say 40%, some of them say it's more than 50% now. So mobile first subject lines, short subject lines, great subject lines. This is something that can help you improve your cold outreach game. And the most important stat here saying, is cold email outreach dead? Some influencers may say, okay, so cold outreach dead, let's focus on LinkedIn, I don't know, on other channels. But data says that by 2025, we will have 4.6 billion email users worldwide. Like and it's keep growing. So everything we will share today will still be relevant in this decade, or maybe in the next one. Let's see. That's interesting, right? So number of email users will keep growing. And before we dive to the topic, let's have a quick poll, and let's figure out what the most popular email client is so far. How do you think? Let's see. Okay, Gmail, Hotmail, Microsoft. Yeah, I think salespeople live in their bubble, information bubble. That's interesting. So you think it's Gmail? 74% us think that Gmail is the most popular email client so far, then Microsoft Outlook. Interesting. But the reality is, Apple actually has the most popular email client so far, including their Apple Mail, iPhone, iPad, mail privacy protection. So their market share is almost 60% now, and Gmail is getting less popular email client. So that's what this information bubble means, because probably a majority of us salespeople B2B people use Gmail. That's interesting. So Apple has built the most popular email client so far. It's data from one service called Litmus. They track email marketing data. So that is their data. That's their data source, right? So for this report, we analyzed approximately 100,000 different subject lines across 1 million, a few like millions of emails, and we got these results. So an average open rate for all analyzed emails is almost 32%. An average reply rate for all these analyzed emails is 3%. So we will use these metrics across our next slides and our next charts. And yeah, the first data-backed insight is focused on subject line length. I've always been curious to know, could the length of a subject line influence my open rates, my, I don't know, reply rates? So this is the very first thing I've actually been curious always. And here's the result. As we can see here, number of words has like a light correlation between number of words and average open rate. So we can say that the best performing subject line will contain something between 1 and maybe 5 words, but that's okay to use even more, maybe even 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. We can see like a slight decline in average open rate here, reply rate here, but it's still fine. Like maybe it's a statistical issue or something like this, but number of words in your subject line doesn't influence your average open rate. But there is an interesting fact. If you use empty subject lines, that's a problem. You should at least add 1 word to your subject line, because when you send an email with no subject lines, they may think your email seems suspicious or maybe a spam or something like this. So I will encourage you to insert at least 1 word, and you're pretty much good. You're pretty much ready, good to go. So yeah, average open rate is 32%, and emails with empty subject line will lead to like a huge decline in your opens. You will get fewer opens basically by 36% in comparison to an average result. Case type. That's also something interesting. There's also one interesting thing I can see across SDR salespeople. Sometimes I receive some cold outreach emails myself, and I've seen that some of us send emails with subject lines that contain only lowercase words, for example, sales development process at reply.io. And it got me curious. Is this something cool? Does it help to increase my results? And we asked our data scientists to analyze average open rates by case types. And here's the result. As we can see that you will get the lowest possible result while using all lowercase words, like option number 1, sales development process at reply.io. If you use most lower or most upper, that's fine. Most uppercase is preferred, basically. On average, it performs better than an average result for all analyzed emails. So I will recommend you focusing on most uppercase scenario, the last one. Most uppercase word, sales development process at reply.io, because it probably sounds natural, I don't know, but this one works better. Okay, let me check a chat. Yes, of course. We will send you the slide deck, presentation, PDF. You can ping me on LinkedIn or whatever. You will have a YouTube recording of this webinar. So we will send you everything. Another data-backed insight is focused on ROI language. So we analyzed, so marketing teams know that there are some kinds of words they should avoid using in their subject lines, in their email templates, because email providers consider they are like spam words. For example, click, get, discount, offer. So, and I was curious, does it work with sales cold outreach, or is there a difference? Does it influence my reply rates, open rates? So, and we've seen 3 different scenarios. In some cases, some of these words can lead to fewer opens. For example, click, get. So I was joking, subject line, which looks like click to get, maybe the worst thing you ever done with subject line. So click, get, generate less opens. Free offer, which is interesting, act as an average result, so no difference at all. You're free to use them. And there are some words like discount, cooperation, opportunity. They actually can help you get more opens, and in some cases even replies. For example, cooperation, opportunity, because it's something that business rely on typically. So yeah. And we also analyze some interesting marketing words I have seen sales team typically use as well. For example, question, intro, improve, increase, scale, more, save. And all of these words, if you use these words in your subject line, will lead to fewer opens, basically. For example, subject line like increase your pipeline in next quarter, scale your sales development department, get more leads. I don't know. This subject line can decrease your average results. And on the other hand, one of them performed actually pretty good. Words like grow, more, boost, transform, they're still like quite can be used in your subject lines, I guess. I would always encourage you to experiment, to give it a try, and so on. Also, digits in subject lines. As we can see, there is no difference. I've always been thinking that, okay, if I use numbers, because we perceive numbers as social proof, right? We think that numbers will show that we know something. I don't know, we understand what we're talking about, just like me today. Yeah, it's just a joke. So yeah, digits in subject lines won't increase your average results. So I would say you're safe to use them and nothing should happen, like you are fine to use them. Yeah, again, let's see chat. Okay, nothing new. Okay. So subject lines like get, I don't know, 10 more customers per year is fine. No, I said that get is the wrong word. We should rephrase it. Additional 10 contacts per month, something like this. Percent in subject lines. With this one, it's interesting. Percent in subject line can lead to fewer opens and replies. Saying something like get 100% more revenue this year may seem suspicious, actually. So if you already have great result using percent, that's great. Probably you have great audience. Your targeting is okay. You target right ICP, personas, and so on. But if you already use percent and you get like bad results, I will encourage you to A/B test and maybe remove percent from your subject line and so on. So as we can see that using percent in subject line, you can get twice less on average, twice less, 2x less responses and 20% less opens. Quick question. Quick question. That's also interesting thing. Here's why. Here's a screenshot of my Gmail inbox with subject lines containing phrase quick question, lots of quick question subject lines, and it got me thinking, what about this one with subject line with all these subject lines that contains a phrase quick question? So we analyzed it as well, and we have a quick poll for you. How do you think? Is quick question better than an average result? Let's see chat as well. Okay, a few more seconds. Let's see. How much does differ depending on the sector? Okay, yeah, I forgot to say in the very beginning that we analyzed like data across all industries, across all personas, across all continents, countries. It's just like an average result across all sectors, countries, personas, and so on. It's just very like average result. So you can kind of just use it to compare with your results. Probably you can go to your reply account or your sales engagement account and just check if you have more than 30% average like open rate or reply rate, or if so, then that's cool. If not, then you can adjust your subject lines based on this presentation. It's okay. We can see that yes says yes wins. So you think that that quick question option wins. Okay, let's see. That's interesting. It's both yes and no. Yes and no. We can see here quick question leads to fewer opens and fewer replies. If you use just question, for example, it also leads to fewer opens and replies. But if you use quick chat, probably it will help you increase your average open rate, but it also leads to fewer replies. We also analyzed a few more things like referral, request, and these options can help you generate more both replies and opens. So it's probably when you intro someone or you ask for some kind of information or you refer someone, then in this case you will get more opens and replies. So probably you can somehow try to rephrase your subject lines, or maybe use some strategy where you ask for a request or for an intro. This may get you more opens. Subject lines, formulas, and examples. It's also interesting topic. We have analyzing all these subject lines. We've analyzed, like as I mentioned before, 100,000, I guess, something like this, different subject lines. And we've seen some common patterns of subject lines. that can lead to higher, to more like both opens and replies. First of them is a cooperation formula or mutual business formula. It's where you ask to connect your company with potential prospect, for example, like Google, inequality symbols and reply.io, or maybe Google and reply.io, Google plus reply.io, John and Vlad, John and William, William and John, reply for Google, Google for reply. So this formula helps you get more opens. Another one is three variables formula, where you combine three random words, like for example, company, my company, and pain point, Google, reply.io, and sales automation. So this formula encourage your prospects to open an email and just somehow connect these three words together. So your main goal in your email is to connect all these three words in your template. The same with the first one, for example, interest, company, and my company, Marvel, Google, and reply.io. So you can, for example, if the prospect loves watching Marvel movies or DC movies, or you know their hobby or their interests or something like this, or maybe their college, I don't know, their anniversaries, and so on. So you just combine these three random variables, connect them in your email template, and this will work. Need urgency formula. We also use this one in reply, and it helps us get additional demos. For example, first name, any thoughts, or like your reply trial account ends in 2 days, or have you given up on sales engagement? Have you given up on, I don't know, hiring new SDRs? I don't know. So this need urgency formula also can help you get more opens. Curiosity formula, this one I've seen at Blissful Prospecting. So this one is a stolen one, I would say. So curiosity formula works just like this. First name, I was researching company, and 3 full stops, and then you proceed your thoughts in email. So that's how you can like reveal that curiosity to open your email. So that's how you can get more opens as well. This one is interesting one, I would say. First name, for example, first name, notice you are hiring. So yeah, that's how it works. Pain point formula, that's how you can use this formula to address your value proposition or reveal their pain point and so on. So for example, first name, scaling your sales department team, how you can get this information. You check their LinkedIn company page, the company page on LinkedIn, and you notice that they are hiring new SDRs. So you can say something like this: first name, are you scaling sales development team? First name, your thoughts about, I don't know, something like you notice that they struggle with website traffic, for example. Low cost sales development team for reply. If you outsource sales development, for example, high-end blockchain team outsourcing. So that's how you can reveal their pain or their needs, right, based on this subject line. So if your subject line is relevant and it's a perfect timing, this will lead to more opens. And Yeah, let's see what's your favorite subject line. Leave a few comments and we will go through your favorite subject line. So let's share your secrets in comments. And after that, I will share my favorite one. Let's see. First name, comma, company name. Okay, cool. Watched you on webinar channel. That's one highly personalized. You may be thinking, oh, not you again. I like the 3 variable formula. Yes, that's interesting one. Here's how I used it before. I used something like their company name, comma, reply.io, comma, or and we used as a third variable technographics. So each time it is something new, like Salesforce, HubSpot. So they may be thinking, okay, how do you know that we use Salesforce? Something interesting. Or how do you know that we use HubSpot or Zendesk or and so on? So yeah, this is pretty powerful formula. Name, how about finishing work early today? Can you help you reduce your GTM expenses? Okay, pain point formula, cool. Value proposition. Okay, so you may take a few screenshots before the end of this webinar, if you want. Because personally, I will have access to these comments. It just, yep, joking again. Name, company name for prospect company. Okay, cool. So yeah, typically we rely on company, first name, our company name as variables for our subject lines. Yes, we also, by the way, have some data on number of variables you use within your subject lines, but I decided not to include this one. You can check our basically blog posts about subject lines analysis as well. And it says that it doesn't matter how many personalized variables you use within your subject lines. You can even send non-personalized subject lines. It's going to be pretty much the same result. Like you can send something like your sales team, for example, and it should work even in the same way if you use 1 or 2 variables. Okay, company name, our company name. Okay, great. And this is my favorite subject line as well. I have been using it since I joined sales development area almost 7 years, and it works like a charm even now. I don't know why, it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward because it probably explains or reveals some partnership or maybe some mutual business or I don't know, cooperation. So this formula, maybe it's simple, but it's still yet effective for me. Typically, we get something between 40% in open. Our average open rate for this subject line is about 40%. Within our sequences, if we send even a few more follow-ups, 2 or 3 follow-ups in a thread to this subject line in first email, we can get like results. Our open rate will be like 60 to 90%, which is amazing. And then I asked our data scientist team to analyze it. Actually, I asked, hey, can you analyze all subject lines that include phrase, company, and inequality symbols? And they said, like, of course, we can do this. And And here's what they said. Indeed, this subject line on average performs better than an average result for all emails, for all subject lines we analyzed so far. So, and this is the moment when, when your gut feeling correlates with data and science, which is amazing, I think. So, yeah, I will encourage you to use this one. Of course, you can rely on 3 variables formula, pain point, and so on. But this one is my favorite, like, I guess maybe forever. So yeah. Also, here is subject line do's and don'ts based on data insights we analyzed before, and I share this list with our SDRs at Reply. So here's what I suggest to do. Use 1-5 words in your subject lines. Keep it so that's how you can keep it mobile friendly. Remember about these 30 characters in your subject line. Use a few personalized variables. 2-3 is enough, or maybe even 1. Use any case in your words, but not a lowercase style. Like, as we mentioned before, most uppercase is the best option. You can use any numbers. You can use numbers as social proof, but don't use % symbol. Emojis might help. We also have data showing that subject lines which include an emoji generate more opens. Subject line is a short version of your email, so keep it simple, appealing. Always A/B test, always, like just A, B, C, D, sometimes maybe even more options, 5, and just then pick 2 or 3 the best performing subject lines. Timing and relevance are important. Here's what I mean here. For example, if your prospect is lives in Australia, for example, and you send an email from Canada, for example, or from Florida, so they actually sleep right now, right? So when they wake up in the morning, and as we mentioned before, like, I forgot how many % of us check inbox in the morning, they won't see your email because someone will send an email in the morning, and they will check their emails in the morning. So timing and relevance are important. 30% open rate is okay. 50% open rate is amazing for one-shot email, for example. And our don'ts: do not use ran forward because those are misleading. Don't send empty subject lines because it can decrease our open rate. Do not use question mark or exclamation mark. Some words like quick, high, chance, we've already discussed them. Scale, boost, grow may decrease your open rate as well. No catchy, tricky words, but some of them may work. We've already said this. Discount, offer, cooperation, opportunity still can help you. Do not use lowercase. Do not use caps lock. This one, not just because of data, because it's unprofessional thing, I guess. And if your open rate is less than 30%, something is definitely wrong. Maybe timing, maybe your persona, I don't know. So this is like a list of our do's and don'ts. Okay, let me check the chat again. What is an objectively good reply rate for cold B2B SaaS emails? So we analyzed this in the very beginning, and based on our research, 3% for one email is probably a perfect spot. Where can I find the list of spam words? You can Google them. There is a list of, I don't know, maybe 300 words we should avoid. But typically those words are for marketing teams, for marketing managers, for email sent via MailChimp or ActiveCampaign and so on. So if you have a subject line question, do you recommend not using question mark? Yes, that's actually interesting because probably these people who sent me all these emails, as you can see, they don't use question mark. Like 50-50, I would say 50-50, right? Quick question, William, no question mark. Quick question, William, quick question, and so on. So probably they know that question mark itself can lead to fewer opens. Let's get back to the presentation. Okay, Q&A. That's actually it on my end for today. Okay, Q&A. Do you have data about digits in the body of the email? Not yet, actually, but we are going to analyze emails soon as well. Pretty much the same things. Emails, digits, percent, emoji, social proof in email bodies. Your survey was combined by how many contacts, how many emails were sent and analyzed to receive an average result. We analyzed a few million of emails, a few million, and 100,000 subject lines. Could you share the first phrase could you please share the first phrase that follows company reply.io? What do you mean? Could you please share? Sorry, I didn't get your question. Do emojis in subject line have an impact? Yes, they do. They do have an impact, and the impact is a positive one. Have to jump. Thanks so much, Vlad. Thank you, Zachary. Have a great day. When sending more than one step, what is the importance of sticking with the same subject versus different subject? We haven't analyzed this yet, but personally, I prefer to send a few more follow-ups in the same thread to the first email. So here's our strategy at Reply. First email is highly customized, personalized with the subject line like company, inequality mark, symbols, reply.io. And then we send 2 additional follow-ups within a week to the same first email, which helps us boost open rates for that one email. And that's why typically it is approximately 60-80% open rate for the first email after 2 additional follow-ups. I mean, the first phrase that recipient sees in the email, company reply. Oh, they see hi first name. This is Vlad from reply.io, a sales engagement platform for sales teams. Doesn't some of this subject line have a higher chance of landing in spam or being sent to promotions? Yes, some of them indeed have a higher chance to actually decrease your average open rate. Let's check them again. Like, just a second. Like click, get, improve, increase, scale, more, save. Yeah, so it's pretty much these words. We analyze these words. Any research on ideal timing on when to send corresponding emails? 2 days later, 3, 5. We haven't prepared this data for this webinar, unfortunately, but yeah, we will analyze it as well, Christine. What days of the week do you tend to send emails? Oh, great question. We typically prepare our list for Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we always plan our sequences in that way. So the first emails can be sent only on Tuesday or Thursday, because within these days we can get the highest possible open and reply rates for our industry, again, for our personas. So yeah, Tuesday and Thursday for the first important email, and follow-ups, that's fine. They can be sent on Mondays, Friday. For inbound leads, we actually even have some slots on Sunday evening. So yeah, that works as well for us. No, we haven't analyzed word urgent, unfortunately. This is a great question. I will take a screenshot to maybe analyze it in the future. Okay, Q&A. Word survey in the subject line. Unfortunately, no, we haven't analyzed it. Doesn't some of these hard in landing spam? Okay, so sounds like we have no additional questions here. So let me get back to the presentation. And okay, let's stay in touch. Here's my Linktree account. You can scan it if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn. I don't know, ping me on Telegram, via email, and so on. Happy to join your network, professional network on LinkedIn. Yeah, and thank you for these 45 minutes. I was hoping we can spend less. Maybe we could spend maybe 40 minutes, 35, but 45 is also amazing. So thank you again. Have a great day, morning in Canada, Miami, Florida, India, Brazil, France, Ukraine, and